All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Sam Crescent art stream. Let's check in on the social medias: Twitch, Kick, YouTube, Facebook. We got to go live on Facebook. I always forget. You got to press that go live button over there. Check in on the social medias: Twitch, Kick. You got to go live on Facebook. I always forget. You got to press that go. All right. I have everything set up. We are live. This is the Sam Crescent art stream with me, Sam Crescent, working on my comic book strength monsters and stuff. Let's get into it. We'll do some warm-ups here. I already warmed up with my basic shapes and circles. But we'll get into some Bridgman drawings and things of that nature. Yesterday, we were drawing this diagram of this hand here. Let's work on that some more. It was helpful, and we'll keep it up. Let's redraw this here because there's a lot of things here that were happening, and we'll draw the other angle of it. So what we're doing with this bad boy was we're looking at this as a shape of a paddle. So I'm gonna go here and here, and then this is just, we're just saying that it's basically a paddle like that. This muscle here is the adductor pollicis muscle, and that was an important one. And then we got the thumb coming out here off the adductor pollicis. This is the styloid process of the radius bone that sticks out there. And then we'll draw the knuckle of the thumb. We'll make the thumb come out. Get the pad of it in here. And this right here, this muscle was the adductor. Let's just double check with Bridgman what these were again. Number 3. Let's see. Was I right? Adductor pollicis. No. It's the dorsi interosseous. And this was the adductor pollicis. So, dorsal interosseous. We gotta remember it's like on the back of the hand. Okay. Then the extensor communis digitorum was this thing. This big tendon that goes to 3 fingers, which we'll go over that again too. So I still don't have this hand anatomy down as well as I should, but that's why I'm going over it again, because eventually you go over it enough times, you'll just know it. And that's what we're gonna do. Looks like I made my hand a little small, or I made my fingers a little big. So we'll just make the hand bigger. Knuckle out there. It's the ulnar bone. Now this area here is another one. So we've got this area here, which is the something interosseous, right? Dorsal, because we know it's on the back of the hand. Whoops. Dorsal interosseous. I don't remember how to spell that. This one, what was that? 2. Adductor digiti minimi. And it was at AB, not AD, right? Yep. So it pulls the pinky finger away from the hand. And then 4, right there, is the add. Pulls the thumb into the hand. Pollicis is a word for thumb. So whenever you see that word, you know It's talking about the thumb in the old Latin. My spelling could be off. Then we got this big thing here. And I want to memorize these tendons so that when we're drawing hands and we want to put tension on the hand and show like the strain of these tendons kind of popping and flexing out, it's helpful if you actually know the tendons here, because then you know where you can make them look like they're popping and flexing. We know that there's one that goes along the thumb here, and that's an easy one that we should kind of memorize. And this one here was the, I don't remember it now. The flexor carpi, no, extensor carpi. Let's see what it is. Communis, not carpi. Communis digitatorium. So now I've drawn the muscles of the hands, or these not really muscles. Some of them are muscles, some of them aren't. Well, this is a muscle actually. It goes up the hand, up the arm, and then there's a big belly of this muscle on the forearm. Which maybe that's where we should look at that really quick. So if we look at this extensor communis. Let's see if they have a Gray's Anatomy of it. Look at the Wikipedia image. There it is. So this is actually a great image of it. Okay, I'm going to pull this in here. So look, that's it right there. So here, we'll draw this hand. Why not? This is probably... I don't know what this is from. If we go to the Wikipedia Commons, tell me where this is from. This is from Joe Quain's Human Anatomy, public domain, created in 1849. So we're looking here at an 1849 diagram of the hand. That's older than Bridgman's book. Let's draw this bad boy. So right here, we've got the brachioradialis muscle. Let's see, on Wikipedia, they don't have it really labeled. They even have cadaver photographs. That's pretty gnarly. We're not gonna look at that right now. We don't need to. But well, let's get the big shape here. And remember, we're gonna make a paddle. This is the dorsal interosseous muscle, and you can see here in this old 1800s one, they put the striations in of where it goes. And this muscle is actually bigger. There we go. Now my paddle is going to be too small. You can already tell, but that's okay. It comes up, we've got the knuckle. And then this first finger, knuckle. Second finger, knuckle. Third one. And we have the digiti minimi. Then we've got, this comes out more. And that's, remember there's a muscle in there called the abductor digiti minimi. And then the whole hand, the forearm, I'm going to thicken it up a little bit. Elbows, plug it in right there. There we go. All right, now I'll get a darker color here. We'll draw over the top of this. So up here, coming up the forearm, we have the brachioradialis, which goes to the thumb. And in this, you can even see the tendon that comes down once it crosses over. And it looks like it comes through and goes there and there. Adductor pollicis, ad. You can see there's a tendon comes here, and this is that muscle, the what was it called, extensor digitorum communis or something. Where let me see here. Extensor communis digitorum. So that's a new muscle that I want to get this down for my forearms. That it comes out from under the brachial radialis muscle, comes down here, and then when we get to this hand, it bifurcates out and runs down each finger. All right, there we go. Got the pollicis brevis and longus right there coming through. This, I think, is the, I don't know. So I'm going to say something ulnaris. It's on the ulnar side. And then you've got the elbow coming out. This would be the tricep muscle that's attaching to this elbow here. Bicep muscle coming out from there. All right. Now, the thing about Bridgman is that he designs and wedges these muscles in such a cooler way than these anatomy books. But sometimes you got to pull out the anatomy book just so that you kind of get the clarity on this. So that's a good image right there. Let's keep a hold of that one. Get out of the way here. All right, let's look at this Bridgman here. And we'll work on this one here, this foreshortened kind of one. So now we're not really dealing with I'm still always going to try and go for the big shape right away. So it just gives me a trajectory upon which I can run my drawing. A little bit more length on that. Coming out here, got this bone, and it continues. So there's 3 bones. Well, there's 4 bones actually that come down here. The phalanges, I think, is what they call them, of the fingers. But he cut his thumb off for some reason, but he noticed he kept the tendon running down there. Now he's showing where the knuckle is. I believe it's a saddle joint right here. Comes through. You have the 6 different types of joints. You have a saddle joint, a hinge joint, a ball and socket joint, a saddle hinge, ball and socket, for some reason, not remembering the other types of joints that we have in the body. So remember, this one is the adductor pollicis right here, this muscle. To put some striations on that bad boy if we wanted. 4 is the pollicis No, this is not the adductor pollicis. This is the dorsal interosseous. Dorsal interosseous. Got to remember dorsal because it's on the dorsal side of the hand. Now we've got the adductor pollicis right here. And then Bridgman's got the, he's drawing the bone coming through here of the first digit. And then right here is the tendon of the extensor communis digitorum. Extensor communis digitorum. Gotta remember that. It sounds like a Harry Potter thing, man. Extensor communis digitorum. When he's like fighting something, whipping out his wand. Extensor communis digitorum. If I can remember that. We got the knuckle there. And now in here we'd be getting into the carpals of the hand. Capitate, hamate, pisiform. I forget the rest of those ones. And we have this tendon here, which is labeled as 1, which was, let's see what that tendon was. That's part of the extensor communis digitorum. So what? Yeah. It goes, so this is also part of it. I didn't know that. What the heck? 7. What am I looking at? I think this is labeled wrong. So that's 7. It's going to the thumb, and that's going to be the pollicis muscle, probably. Extensor pollicis longus. There's the longus, there's the brevis. These are labeled wrong. So this should be 7 and this should be 1. Don't let the book gaslight you guys. This is the index finger, and that's 1. That's this. This is the index finger, right? Or is this the thumb and this is the index finger? Ah. He tricked me, man. This is the thumb. This is the index finger, but he didn't draw the rest of it. But it's up here, so let's just draw the rest of it so that we don't trick ourselves. Flippin' Bridgman trying to trick me with this stuff, man. The thumb. This is a thumb right here. Flippin' Bridgman. This is the first digit. Then you'd have more coming up. So this is the dorsal interosseous. Pollicis longus is this tendon. This one is the, no, this is the dorsal interosseous. This is the heck, communis digitorum. Flexor communis digitorum. This is, we call it the Harry Potter muscle. Maybe if I write it on here, I'll remember it. Flexor. Why do I want to know the names of this stuff? I just do, guys. I just got to know it. All right, let's get on with drawing our comic book. We've got to do a female character today, right here. And it's like we're going to draw her right here. And get rid of Bridgman. We don't need him anymore. And tomorrow I'll just continue working through these hand studies, go back to doing the back studies. But if you're not doing studies every day, what are you doing? All right. Flexor carpi digitorum. Is that the muscle? Now all of a sudden the Harry Potter muscle's lost on me. Flexor communis digitorum. All right. Let's see what we're going to do here with this girl. I'm going to give her some weird clothes and stuff, but I mean, what would you expect? Of course, we got to do that. Whoa, so let's see. It is today's Friday, May 15th here. The close of another week. I'm gonna be busy weekend for me. Gonna be at Comic-Con Revolution all weekend. Hopefully making some great sales. Gonna be basically prepping for that the entire rest of the day. There's a lot of work to do. Gotta get all the gear packed and all that kind of stuff. We will get that done. Pull my head out of my butt here. Start drawing this a little better. Oops. I gotta start speeding up too. Taking a little too much time here. Hmm. I was poking around on the other day on Twitch, watching some of the other art streams, just kind of see what people are doing. There's some good artists, but there wasn't a lot happening as far as making progress on their drawings and stuff. I was going, there's not a lot of people watching these streams, but I'm going, how's anybody interested in this? These guys are like drawing at a snail's pace. There's nothing happening. And I don't think I'm very fast either, but I at least want to try and move these illustrations forward at some semblance of a pace, so that you're not going to just be bored out of your mind watching this. Maybe I'm a little bit too slow, but I'm trying my best to keep things moving. Now, got to kind of design her clothes here. Collarbone here. So what should she be wearing? I was thinking of like giving her some crazy armor, some crazy boob armor. So good thing I've been drawing my circles. It's absolutely not what we want. No. I don't know, man. What I was thinking about is something like that, and then we'll go here like that, and then we'll put spikes around it like this. Get this one in first. We'll see if I even like the idea. And then we'll put another outer parameter here. I don't know, man. Like if this goes on social media, it might be too much for social media to be able to handle. Then it's going to be attached to a breastplate that goes like this, armored. Let's see here. Let's look at some football pads. No. Maybe if I put in armored breastplate. If we get any good ideas. I'm doing a search on an armored breastplate. So I'll just like smooth muscle. I mean, a smooth thing. Okay, so we'll do it like this though. All right, take these out. It's got the spikes there. Gonna be here. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good one. I'm gonna go this way with it. Nah, I'm just gonna make up what I was doing instead of looking at a reference because the reference is leading me down a path of normalcy. And I was kind of thinking more of like metal that goes like that. All right, I'm not moving this along. I was just saying how other artists they move their drawings along too slowly, and need to make sure that I'm moving my drawing forward in a timely manner here. Come down like that. And this one going to be here. This is probably a little too much. I don't think the internet can handle that. I'm going to have to do something else there. No. Do something like this. There. Spikes. All right. There we go. There. Let's take out this because it's too much like a nipple or something. Let's figure out what we can do here. What if we made it go like pointy like this? Might be a bit much. But that is more interesting. For sure. That looks violent almost. I like that. I don't know, man. Like I don't want to get in trouble on it's like social media is so weird about boobs. You think that they're gonna try and put shields in front of babies' eyes so that they don't see them when they breastfeed. But that I very much like that design. It's very interesting to me. Indicate this armor here. This is freaking armor, guys. This is metal. You know. This is it'll be even more ridiculous if she has a bare midriff. Because she will. Get these hips in. Alright. We're making up a cool character here. Let's move all this over. Kind of running out of space, so move this over here a bit. Alright. Now, I'm going to make her holding a big old sword in this hand. Sleeveless here. And then this will be even more ridiculous is... So she's going to be sleeveless here. But then we'll have a big old gauntlet here. And... Let me see here. Where is she holding the sword at? Instead of holding it up. Yeah, I'll put it like that. Holding it down. Alright, that works. I had to find the trajectory of where this was going. Okay, so big old gauntlet right here. So bare arms, bare shoulders. But then we've got this giant metal protective thing on her. You know what we'll do? We'll design the armor so that there's a piece of it that comes down here that kind of goes along with the extensor communis digitorum muscle. We need to do some little sectioning in here. Like that. And then remember we've got this, we'll model the gauntlet after kind of like the way that real anatomy on the hand goes. Some designy stuff there. There's a muscle that comes over there, but we'll ignore that. Then we have the abductor digiti minimi. Let's get these knuckles in here. Okay, something like that. Now, swords here. We'll give it a pommel back there. sheathe this thing. Not sheathe it, but I might have to make this a little smaller. It's getting a little big, but we'll just build it out right now. Broadsword style. Gonna move her over even more. We don't have enough room. Not quite that far. Something about there. All right, let's see what we can do here. So let's make this a little bit smaller. I mean, I like the Bigfoot style, making things larger than they are, but it's gotta believe that this is still part of her physicality. Okay, we'll fix all that up. We'll clean it all up in a minute. Let's go with the lower body here. And so we've got to figure out her stance, which is going to be here. And here. And then we'll make this arm coming down. No. You know what we'll do is we'll make this arm. This is going to look better. Have a fist here and we'll have an arm like that. Yes, that is flipping awesome. All right. Drawing this hand here. Let's get the shape of this a little better. See what we're dealing with here. It would be a hand, something like this. Forearm coming down here. It's kind of foreshortened here. And like that. So, we're gonna have a knuckle here because we on these gauntlets they usually have these like big knuckles. I mean, we could put spikes even on this. Might as well. Gauntlet that out. Put ones down there. All right, let's clean this up a little bit. We've got get a little messy here. And I'm getting a little too much into the details too fast. So let's design this knuckles going like this. Each section, but I wanted to do was kind of make this one like that more. Like how it is in that one Bridgman drawing we did a while back, where he kind of drew this knuckle out there a little bit more out that way, and then these knuckles are down here more. And then we've got to put this thumb in here. A little too much thumb. See if we can figure this out. See a little bit of the thumb there. Maybe a little bit here. Like that. Yeah, that'll work. Clean it up. Clean this thing up nice. Then we can design the gauntlet. I kind of want to leave that a little bit there. And then no, that doesn't look good. We'll just leave it. Leave it open. I'm like, let's go even further with the Dorsi Communis Digitorum. Instead, we'll just keep it here, and then we'll have it come out like that. And that's the Communis Digitorum. Communis Digitorum. Give it some cool stuff there. And then that's forearm here. And maybe make it come out about there. Got a foreshortened forearm here. We're gonna bring it out like that. Now let's move it up a little bit. I mean, who else is? Well, I'm not gonna say who else, but listen, we're making up OG. No, original. Is OG the short for original? My OG character. Is that what people say for my original character? We're making up original characters every flipping day from scratch, just pulling them straight out of my ass. I shouldn't say that. Pulling them straight out of nowhere, just a little too built up. There we go. It's kind of more funny and more interesting if she's got sort of smaller, skinnier arms. You know? All right, that's cool. Now, for the legs and stuff, we're going to do something here. We're going to go, let's give a little bit of rendering there. But there. A little bit here. And we'll probably have to put a helmet on her. You know, so her head's like not isn't unprotected. Do this kind of V action, and we can do an armored skirt. Actually, we'll do an armored skirt. So we'll go here like this, here and there, and let me erase all this. Let's progress this thing. It's almost 7 o'clock on Thursday in November. I mean, not November. In May. Man, I just like get the older I get, the more anxiety I get about how much time keeps passing by. And what you find is that your perception of time speeds up as you get older because your life has become lengthened. So 5 years when you're 20 is 1/4 of your life, and it seems like an eternity. 5 years when you get older is a smaller percentage of your life, your lived experience, and so your brain perceives it as less time. And so that's why time it gets shorter and shorter as you get older and older. Like you feel it. And that's the one thing that's been the most difficult of aging. All right, let's see here. Do something like that. Okay. Kind of borrowing a little bit from medieval armor here now to make this work. I'm going to take these spikes off. It's just, I think that it's too much spikes. You say, oh, you can never have enough spikes. No, you got to use your spikes responsibly. And we've got a ton of spikes around on the breastplate. And then if we just keep adding spikes everywhere, then the spikes around the breastplate becomes less important because they're just competing with all the other spikes, which we don't want. All right, so here, no, I don't want to do that. could I do that's more interesting here? I mean, pretty much this medieval armors would have this U shape here. That was standard. I think the lower legs have to be armored up again. So bare midriff, bare thighs, and then we'll give her big old metal things here. Oops. Clean up our drawing a little bit here. All right, that's pretty good. Turn that down. 7:03 on Friday. I will admit I'm a bit anxious about all the things that I need to try to get done today. Sometimes I get anxiety still before some of these conventions too. Because you're just kind of nerve wracked. You're like, I hope I get some good sales. I hope people aren't mean to me. Nobody's ever mean to me, but that. No. Something's going on here. Nothing that matters. Gotta have some muscular legs. I think her crotch would be around there. You know what though? I think it's gonna look better if we kind of do it like that. To be honest, because then it makes more sense. There we go. Barefoot. Got all this armor, but she doesn't have any shoes on. I have to make these legs a little longer again too. It's like seems to be a common thing that my legs are always coming in too short. And I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom soon. All right, let's see where we at with this drawing here. Okay, this foot and leg is too big. Let's get this the right size. Part of the problem with drawing digitally is you're always moving things up and then you can't see the whole figure. And when you draw like this, it's like you can see the full figure, but sometimes it feels like the details are too small. And makes things a little difficult sometimes. Thin this down. All right, that's pretty good. There's a few things I don't like about it. Um, One is that this hip, this is the support leg. Pushes that hip up. That hip's going to be down, so I feel like it needs to be kind of here. Like that. So what I'm saying is that this leg is the main support leg. So there's going to be a pinch here, and this hip's going to be up, and then this hip's going to be more down. You got to come up with something better than this. Let me see. If I was drawing this girl, she was here. This would be thick and thin there. This would be there, something like that. Let's clean this up again. Clean this up here. Now, design this a little better in here because it didn't look that good. It looked kind of weird before. It might be coolest, I think, to just do something like that and then give her like a cloth thing. Like that. That's what it'll be. Sometimes a simple solution is the best one. All right, we are going to get this finished today here, okay? And I am not going to be taking a million years anymore. There we go. Let's make her legs overall. I think we still need to make her whole lower body overall more elongated. Oops, not like that. A little bit longer there. Make her upper body maybe a little bit bigger. Now for her head, I mean, I could make it so that her head's tilting up, but then we kind of risk things there. We'll just keep it. We've got to give her a helmet though. We can't just have her her head up, unprotected like that. Let's see here. That's a cool helmet. I'll give her that helmet. All right, I already found the right helmet, so we'll go there. Erase off this hair. Go here. Give it some designy thing like this. And then it'll go down like this to protect her neck from blows from behind. Get rid of this hair. Make our designy thing a little bit better. There we go. There we go. And then we could give her horns on her head. Like that if we wanted. Spikes. Might as well. Kind of looks cool. I think that's it. Let's do the silhouette value. Let's turn off this underdrawing that we didn't use anyway. Erase this out, and now we're going to tie this thing together. We just made up a really cool fighter girl. And I'm going to tie this whole thing together. I'm going to start with the silhouette value. Kind of try to clean things up as we go here. Got to work on my JavaScript today. That's one of the things that I worked on it once this week, and it's one of the things that's necessary for me to work on every day to be able to build out all the stuff I want to build and everything. have a hard time just sitting down and doing it for some reason. All right, that's enough for that. Kind of went a little too thick on some of this stuff. Let's just fix it here. No. Goes more here, and then it's kind of got to go like, that looks a little off. Bring it down just a tad. There we go. That's pretty cool. Clean up some of these fragments left behind here. No. Man, my hand does not want to make that curve. There we go. All right, I'm going to try to speed up a little bit here. I know I'm going too slow. Clean up some of that. arm. I gotta do this with my arm. This is a longer line. There we go. Let's look at what we had here before I erased all that. This was what I wanted, was something like this. I need a different pen. That pen is like not giving me a black line. Maybe because it's not black. Nope. There we go. That's good enough. I'm gonna actually leave the sword all crooked and bent like that at the end because it's more, makes it a little more interesting. The heck? What the heck? That's a bad tangent. All right, we're almost there with this thing. There was a lot of decision making involved. We had to do a lot of designing, make all kinds of adjustments. But overall, I think we came up with a pretty unique or a pretty neat character here. Let's get these things. Let's see, we're going to go like this. One there. One there. No. Like that. Go to the G pen. Got to go wake people up. So I'm going to go wake some people up and then I'll be back. What is this looking like now? Oh yeah, this is cool. We have a cool fighter chick character now. I like it. It's very awesome. All right. I'm going to stop the stream for today. That's going to do it. We've got one more character left on this page. And we will be well on our way to finishing this page finally. I'm happy with what we drew today. Thank you for joining me. I will maybe be here tomorrow. I don't know. Tomorrow's Comic-Con Revolution. If I do a stream, it's going to have to be late at night when the show's over. I'll try to keep it going. This is stream number 26 in a row. I'll see you all real soon.